Hello, Joel Tadman here from Golf Monthly, and welcome along to Dom Pedro Victoria, host of the Portugal Masters, where yesterday I was testing on this golf course the new FootJoy Fury golf shoe. As you can see, it's a little bit different, it's very sporty, very athletic, and actually this is a kind of a new concept for FootJoy. Rather than focusing initially on the outsole, which of course gives you excellent grip and traction, FootJoy instead decided to focus on comfort with this golf shoe. So building it from the inside out, really focusing on that feeling you get on your feet inside the shoe, and then building the other elements around it. Don't get me wrong, this is a high performance stable golf shoe. We'll come on to a bit about how they've created that a bit later on, but starting with that comfort story, it comes from a few different elements. The first is this true fit tongue. Basically, FootJoy got some feedback from their tour players saying that they weren't happy with the way the tongue moved from side to side. So this true fit sleeve essentially is kind of one piece that goes all the way around the top of the midfoot, and that stops the tongue moving from side to side. It's also very soft, so it gives you lots of comfort, and it's got this neoprene finish on top, which gives it an element of waterproofing as well. The other way this shoe is going to give you excellent comfort is through the insole. So there's two different densities of foam used on this insole, and the combination works in that one section of the foam gives you a nice cushioning but then springs back to its original shape, and the other section of foam actually molds to the shape of your foot over time. So that's obviously going to give you good comfort, but it's also going to give you a better fit as well. You'll notice here you've got this EVA midsole that runs the entire length of the shoe, and that's actually pretty flexible in this direction, which is good for walking comfort, but it's very stable in this direction, which is obviously very important in the golf swing. You can see on the outsole it's a little bit muddy. I was testing these shoes yesterday, but you've got 9 cleats, 4 in the heel, 5 in the rest of the shoe, and you can see there's two different colours of TPU here. So the grey is slightly firmer, that's going to give you the stability that you're looking for, and then you've got the softer blue elements underneath that, which give you a little bit more flexibility. You see you've got cleats combined with these relatively different outsole nubs in all different configurations. You've got some lines here reminiscent of those Nike shoes a few years ago, and then these more triangular pyramid shaped nubs as well. So lots of different elements here combining to give you excellent grip. You might notice some design features on the upper reminiscent of previous FootJoy models like Hyperflex, specifically this flex grid system here that connects the laces to the midsole. That just gives you a little bit more stability in that midfoot area and helps lock the foot in place. You might notice some mesh sections here on the upper as well. In fact, about a third of this shoe upper is covered in mesh, and that just makes the shoe a little bit lighter, a little bit more breathable, but don't get me wrong, it is still 100% waterproof, and FootJoy have actually covered it with a coating to make it a little bit more easy to clean. So really a very thoughtful offering from FootJoy. Like I said, they've really focused on comfort with this shoe, but they haven't really compromised in any other area of performance, and that was one thing they were keen to stress. You know, this is a high performance golf shoe, but it does have a very different feel to other popular shoes in FootJoy's line. You think of Pro SL and Tour S, very high performing golf shoes, but don't give you that instant kind of soft feel when you slide your foot in, which a lot of brands are doing and a lot of golfers are asking for. They want that instant comfort. So like I mentioned, I tested this golf shoe yesterday out on the course here, Dom Pedro Victoria, and I think the first point to cover is the styling of the golf shoe. For me and a lot of the people I was actually playing with kind of had the same opinion in that it does look a bit better on other people than it does perhaps looking down on your own feet, if that makes sense. Quite close up, there's a lot going on visually. You could argue that perhaps there's a few too many white lines and a few too many visual elements going on this golf shoe. It's a very contemporary, modern, sporty, athletic looking golf shoe, very trainer-like in its appearance, and if that's something that you like, you're obviously going to be very pleased by what you see here in the FootJoy Fury. Traditionalists might want something that's a little bit more subtle, which may be why Pro SL is such a popular golf shoe in that it is quite neutral. This isn't necessarily neutral, it only comes in 3 colours. You've got the blue, the all white and the all black, and even the all white and the all black certainly kind of lean towards the garish side of design, but I think FootJoy have done it in a really nice way, you know, with a pair of navy trousers. This shoe does the job in kind of looking like a golf shoe, but also feeling like more of a trainer. The more I've thought about it, the more I kind of look at it and think it combines the soft, spongy feel of freestyle with many of the performance features of Hyperflex and the look of Hyperflex as well with that flex grid system. It's kind of a combination of those two, which is no bad thing. Freestyle was incredibly comfortable, perhaps a little bit too far on the outlandish side, whereas Hyperflex gave pretty good stability and a nice kind of soft feel underfoot as well. This kind of combines those elements with a bit more stability. This is more stable than Pro SL, so, and obviously it's got the cleats here on the sole as well, so you're going to get a bit more grip from this shoe as well. So when you think about what FootJoy have done in designing this shoe, the soft feel of freestyle, the stability of Hyperflex and Pro SL, the grip of shoes perhaps like Tour S maybe, you know, with that cleated outsole, it combines a lot of different elements together to make it a very comfortable shoe to wear, very enjoyable shoe to wear. Very high performance, very good stability. You know, you didn't feel like the shoe was moving excessively or the foot was rotating excessively. It creates a nice firm footing with the ground, especially when you think about the outsole, the way it's been designed, how the elements extend all the way through the outsole. There's not a gap in the heel section. I think that gives you greater contact points with the ground, gives you more of a stable footing. Some shoes have a separate section for the heel and the rest of the foot here, and that divide can make you feel a little bit disconnected. So I like that it's all kind of one piece, makes you feel nice and low to the ground, nice and stable. The other thing I like about this shoe is the mesh section here on the toe section. When you think about the way you walk, you get a lot of creasing in this area, and that's something I found with Pro SL, is that the leather does crease over time and just doesn't last as long as you might want it to, whereas because you have a mesh section here, it's going to be much more durable essentially, so you might get a few more rounds out of this shoe than you would say a Pro SL. The fit and feel of this golf shoe is a pretty big talking point. It's actually slightly wider than Pro SL, but because it feels a little bit thicker and you've got that true fit tongue in there, that's why it's a little bit wider, but it does still feel quite snug, almost like a bit more of a compressed fit, if that makes sense. No less comfortable, it's just something a little bit different for FootJoy. Feels a little bit thicker, if that makes sense. But obviously if you get the right size, make sure you get measured, get the right size, and I think you'll enjoy the feel that this offers. Obviously the padding around the ankle is excellent. It's very soft, very thick, gives you a nice pleasant feel when you slide your foot in and take your first few steps. The grip is excellent, and it comes in at a pretty reasonable price point. I think it's going to have a retail price of around £150, so that's pretty reasonable when you think about everything FootJoy have packed into this shoe, all the different elements that it combines. You're getting an awful lot of performance and comfort here for your money. You know, obviously things like Pro SL, Tour S, very high performance golf shoes, and they were relatively comfortable, but they didn't offer the similar levels of soft feel that the Fury is going to offer. So if you're a golfer who still wants a high performance golf shoe but wants more of a trainer like feel, a nice soft spongy feeling on your foot with a nice sporty modern look, the FootJoy Fury is certainly one to try. Comes out in February, I think it's the middle of February, so make sure you check that out in your pro shop when it hits the shelves. Hope you enjoyed that review, but for now, from Dom Pedro Victoria, it's goodbye.